Welcome to Psychic Bent. My name is Carrie.
And I'm Kim. We are two sisters wanting to help other psychics learn and grow in their abilities and to help educate about spirits, angels, and everything psychic.
Welcome back, listeners, as we continue with our series on empaths. And our next empath is physical empath. Kim, you want to start us off with the physical empath?
Sure, be happy to. Okay, so the physical empath is a person who has the ability to sense and feel physical sensations in others. They have a heightened sensitivity to the physical experiences of those around them, often experiencing those sensations as if they were their own. This unique ability allows the physical empath to deeply connect with others on a physical level, providing them with valuable insights and understanding. Now, characteristics of a physical empath include being highly attuned to the physical energies. They have a strong intuition when it comes to identifying physical ailments and discomfort in people. Using their empathic abilities, they are able to provide that comfort and healing. They may also have a natural desire to work in the healing arts like massage therapy and energy work. Physical empaths feel and work with the energies and emotions that people are actually feeling in a physical way, and that they have a natural desire to be working with the healing arts like the massage therapy and the energy work. What do you think about them being able to do that?
Well, I think in essence,
You work with energy as well. That's where I'm going with
okay.
this, you know.
Well, if they're able to feel what the other person is feeling, then they kind of know as a massage therapist where they need to work at, what zone. Because, I can tell you that if you have a sore, muscle in your shoulder, that muscle in your shoulder that's all tight, it really is not the problem. It's something farther down your back that you need to find where that pressure point is to release it, to make it all the whole entire muscle to relax. And that's where the physical empath would be able to kind of hone in on where to go,
Okay.
where to put a pressure point, or how to release whatever needs to be released.
And that's the same thing with the energy work, like the Reiki and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, because Reiki, you're going to go around, all the points. You start at the top, the head, and you go all the way around. But you don't have to go in order. You can go where you're drawn to go. So if you're feeling like there's something that you need to go down to the foot and put energy through the one foot to kind of have it flow to the foot, you could do it that way. So yeah, it's kind of I'd like to say it's more intuitive to me. That's kind of why I think I was having a problem with the question, because to me it's more because it's more intuitive. You're intuitively going to where you feel you need to, whereas I guess the physical empath would, I guess, feel they need to go. Feel like a pain in their shoulder. That's where they need to go. I'm not sure. I'm not a physical empath, so it's kind of difficult to put the perspective on it from working with Reiki, because I do more intuitive.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's kind of why I was having trouble with, I don't know what you're asking me.
Sorry.
Because I'm not a plant. I'm a plant empath, which we're going to go over next. I'm intuitive, but I am not physical. If I'm running, that means you should be running too. So
okay. Okay, so they can read how a person must be feeling when they are being hurt or going through a certain physical pain. A low-level physical empath can feel like yawning when they see someone else doing it, or develop a headache when they know someone else has one. Now, as with other empaths, the physical empath deals with the mirror touch synesthesia, which is a condition where a person experiences the same feelings as another just watching them being touched. With mirror touch synesthesia, the physical empaths are sensitive to other people's emotions and the energies they emit. Physical empaths have an innate ability to know how a person is feeling when they are being touched. They mirror all such emotions and start feeling the same. This is an incredible way to connect with people, but can be bothersome at times. Sometimes all you want to do is focus on yourself and ignore the world, but a physical empath finds this almost impossible. Since they can mirror the emotions of other people being touched, it's a no-brainer that they are too sensitive to physical interactions, meaning that they are generally very ticklish and they are highly sensitive to loud noises.
Don't you think most empaths are sensitive to loud noises?
I do. I think they do,
Okay.
yeah.
I was curious,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do too. Physical empaths literally feel others' physical pain. They get overwhelmed watching the scene of an accident and prefer to stay away from the news. Well, that's like a lot of empaths as well. Due to their high level of empathy, the physical empath can stay distressed for days and even experience flashbacks of images from an incident, which can be traumatizing. Physical empaths are sensitive people. They let their emotions get the best of them and think more from the heart than their brain. In many cases, they overcrowd their mind with unnecessary thoughts and develop symptoms of anxiety and depression. Well, being a physical empath doesn't mean your life is full of trauma or sadness. Physical empaths get great satisfaction from the simplest things, like when they see their family laughing. They prioritize physical well-being over everything. They motivate people around them to pick up healthy eating habits and wish them to have a long life. They can be seen at the gym working out. They like spending their time working on their physique and motivating other people to do the same.
I am so not a physical empath.
Me neither.
So not.
No. These empaths also want to protect their loved ones against illness and ailments. One of the most understandable reasons behind their emphasis on physical health is that they feel the strength of a person lies in both their emotional and physical being. A fit person can fight adversities with much more energy and efficiency than someone who is unhealthy. Their imagination is so strong that sometimes they do not even need to see what happened. By just listening to the telling of a story, they will be able to perceive everything a person has gone through. Since the physical empath wants to heal and cure people, they love to explore the many ways to do this. Physical empaths make great medics and physicians because they want to help people get rid of their physical pain. But being a nurse or a surgeon, that might not be the best fit for a physical empath because being exposed regularly to patients with severe pain could hurt the mental balance of the physical empath. Physical empath, yeah.
Oh.
Makes sense though, right? I mean, because if they actually
Well,
take on the pain of those patients.
right. And if they're not doing proper clearing and grounding, that I could see where that would happen.
Right, especially if you were a surgeon or even a nurse that deals with people in all different kinds of levels of pain and discomfort. I could see where that would impact them. Physical empaths perceive the weird energy emitting from angry and aggressive people as negative. This will cause the empath to become annoyed and try to leave the area as soon as possible. But they especially love peaceful environments. Now, I can agree with that about people that are angry and aggressive having weird energy coming off of them.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those, nope, not going to happen today. Goodbye.
Nope, not today. I'm out of here.
I'm gone.
Yeah. So physical empaths crave intimacy. They love getting hugs from the people who are close to them, and a single warm act can make their day. They feel safe holding hands with their family members and friends and try to absorb their emotions through touch.
I'm not a physical empath.
I know.
Don't hug me.
Everything I researched, I went, Carrie, nope. Carrie,
like,
nope.
Don't touch me. I don't want your feelings. Keep them over there.
Yeah. Physical empaths can't resist absorbing energies from their surroundings. Their subconscious mind is wired in such a way that it directs them to pick up energies even without letting their conscious mind know about it. These empaths are quick at understanding the mood of the room as their senses are sharper than other people. These individuals pay extra attention to details which are seldom noticed by people, and it is this habit that helps them connect with a person on a deeper level. So these empaths are attuned to the physical energies of others. Their strong intuition helps them identify physical ailments and discomforts of others. Using their empathic abilities, they can provide comfort and healing. The healing arts such as massage therapy and energy work come naturally to these empaths, and they love to exercise and be physically fit. To summarize the physical empath, They show great interest in physical health and wellness related areas. It is easy for them to interact with people. Still not you, right? No.
I interact with people.
You do. You do.
I'm not the one hiding in the Depends aisle at Walmart. That's you.
I get it.
I am just, like we talked about on the Hayoke, symptom number 1, you're an empath. Okay, well, that's all I got going on with this one is, okay, I'm an empath.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
Yeah. It is easy for them to derive contentment as they grow happy merely by watching their loved ones in good health. They promote fitness as they know the correlation between physical and mental health. The physical empaths with advanced abilities can feel highly empathic towards plants and animals as well. Makes sense though, right? I think a lot of empaths though can connect with plants and animals.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah, some of this, like we said before, some of this kind of layers over each other.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. Physical empaths try to run away from the crowd. They can get disturbed knowing someone close to them is sick and facing health issues. They are, after all, empaths, and so might get upset over catching a lot of negative energy. So you check that one.
We found one.
One.
One. Oh, well, those are the empath things, so maybe it's 2.
Yeah, right. Feeling frequent physical sensations just by watching people can burn them out. Now, I have some strategies to stop absorbing the illnesses and pain of other people. I can go over that if you would like to hear them.
Well, of course.
Okay.
I'm sure we have listeners that are physical empaths that would like to know those strategies.
Okay. So the first thing is to evaluate. And this is what we've said on other times, other episodes, is you have to evaluate, is this mine or not? And if this pain is yours, take care of it. Get it taken care of. If it's others, you have to try to figure out where it's coming from because somebody around you is having a problem. This is a good one. It's move away, which means just place some distance between you and the possible source of this illness or pain that you're experiencing. Be about like 20 feet away and see if you start feeling relief by putting distance between you and where you think that physical pain is coming from. Know your vulnerable points. Now, this is where you try to determine where you usually absorb the stress and energy, where you on your body, where you normally feel it. When onsets of symptoms begin in that area, place your palm there and send loving kindness there to soothe yourself so that you give yourself relief from absorbing the other person's pain that you're taking in. Next thing is your breathing. Concentrate on breathing when you suspect you are picking up on someone's symptoms. That gives you a focus on your breath rather than the symptoms that you're starting to pick up from somebody else. And our favorite word is meditation. If you're feeling emotional or physical distress, just meditate immediately, wherever you are. Even if you have to go to a public bathroom stall, you can sit there and just calm yourself and relax and meditate and bring down your emotional distress or physical stress that you're starting to experience from other people. And then, of course, you visualize the protection around you, your bubble, to keep that energy from coming in and affecting you. And then the good old psychic shower or bathe to wash it all away, wash it all down the drain.
I love those. They're so good.
Right? So that's all I have on the physical empath.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I noticed that neither one of us had any stories to add to it.
No.
Like, okay, next, please.
Well, it's just one of those that if you can't relate to it, if it's not the type of empath that you are,
yes.
You're informing others about it.
Hopefully, any physical empaths that are listening to the podcast, hopefully this has been very helpful.
Yeah, I hope so. I do. All right, Carrie. So why don't we go on to the next one that is you, and it is the plant empath.
Yes, we are doing the plant empath. A plant empath, and I'm sorry, but I just was reflecting back on the last episode when you said implants. I was trying so hard to say empath, plant empath. So I was sorry, I apologize for that. Plant Empaths are individuals who have a deep connection and understanding of plants. They possess the ability to sense and interpret the emotions and energies of plants, allowing them to communicate with and care for them in a unique way. This concept of plant empathy has been around for centuries, with ancient civilizations recognizing the importance of plants and their ability to heal and provide sustenance. Now, I have to tell you, oh gosh, I think it was probably 4 years ago. My mother had a crepe myrtle tree that would not bloom, and she said she was gonna. That's it. If it doesn't bloom, I'm gonna have your father dig it up, and it's gone. So I went out and had a conversation with the tree. Like, look,
Yeah.
the lady in the house is not happy with you because you're not blooming. So I'm going to trim some of your trim you down a little bit, but you're going to need to bloom or she's going to dig you up. And I swear that tree bloomed.
Oh, wow.
I'm just like, look, dude, you need to do something here because that lady in the house, she's about done because you have not been blooming. She sees crepe myrtles blooming everywhere, but not in her yard. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I get this,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of your plant empaths seek alternative methods of healing and connecting with nature because the world is so increasingly fast-paced and you get so disconnected from the natural world that plant empathy offers a way to reconnect with the earth and tap into the healing energy. So you're probably going to be more in tune with doing plant-based, like essential oils to help to relieve stress. I've got a chakra balancing blend of essential oils, so it's the different plants put together into one thing for each, so it helps just align all of your chakras at one time, and you just kind of inhale it. You just inhale it and breathe it in and relax and just let it calm you and relax you. So I think a lot of your plant empaths are really into the homeopathic way of living.
Oh,
So
wow, yeah.
yeah, that's another thing why I'm a plant empath, because that's my thing.
That's your thing.
That's my thing. It was really funny. And another work story. We had Monique went out for shoulder surgery, rotator cuff surgery, and she was going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Was the game plan, and she had this plant on her desk, and it was struggling. I waited till the second day she was out for surgery, and I went and took the plant. I just gave it Reiki. Gave it Reiki, and I watered it, and we had a conversation. And the plant, I have this light under on my desk that's really bright, and plants like really bright light, so I situated it under the bright light, and and it was, and I cut away all the dead. I'm so sorry, little plant, I have to cut this away. I'm just like, I was the first one at work, so no one was really hearing me having this conversation with this plant. But when she returned, I went and put the plant back on her desk, and I had this overwhelming sensation of sadness.
Oh,
the plant was sad. I put it back. And I said, but you're not my plant. I will come visit you. You're just over here. So when Monique came back to work, and she was totally thrilled that her plant was thriving the way it was. So she's been calling me the plant whisperer ever since.
Well, now she'll get it.
Yes. When I told her I gave it Reiki, of course, I asked the plant, do you want some energy work here? Because I think you might need this.
Aw.
So for empaths, how we're all highly sensitive individuals, no matter what empath we are. We're just absorbing everything. And one thing about plants is they're very calming and they're grounding. So having plants in your home or at the office or on your desk can help you with some of the energies that you pick up and the things you're absorbing. But they emit a negative ion, which has been shown to reduce stress and anxiety. So by surrounding yourself with plants, as an empath, you can create a soothing environment that promotes emotional well-being. And again, of course, plants release oxygen, so it's also improving your air quality and creating a healthier living space for empaths. So it's very beneficial.
Right.
Lavender is a nice plant to have around you. It's known for its calming properties, and it can help an empath relax and unwind. Of course, grounding techniques are very important for all empaths and all psychics, but connecting with nature is wonderful for a plant empath. Grounding is essential for us, and then we need to stay rooted in the present moment and maintain that sense of stability. Plants can play a crucial role in grounding techniques for us because it helps us get that direct connection to nature. So if you're at work, you can't go spend time in nature, but if you have plants around you, that's going to help with any negative or overwhelming emotions that you might be carrying. And you can kind of take a moment and just ground yourself with the plants and just have a conversation. That usually helps me. but but be careful not to do that around too many people. They might look at you weird. But so having potted plants around you in your home, in your office, is a really, really good idea. Side note, though, if your house is haunted, you may have trouble with your plants maintaining them in a healthy manner because entities require energy to manifest, and plants have energy. And so a lot of times you'll notice if you have a haunted house that your plants sometimes have a little struggle when entities are showing themselves or taking the energy from the plant. And so you may have brown leaves and things like that.
I did not know that, but you know what? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so
because I couldn't grow plants in the house that I used to live in before that haunted house I lived in.
Yeah, that more than likely was why.
Yeah, I couldn't even grow cactus,
and they don't require a lot of water.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So as a plant empath, you want to unleash your empathetic powers by practicing communicating with plants. Because you can feel their energy. You can basically just tap into the energy and the emotions of the plant. Empaths can gain insight and guidance from the natural world with working with plants. Communicate with plants as an empath is important to approach them with an open mind and heart. Spending time in their presence, observing their growth and behavior, and even talking to them help empaths establish a connection. And they've had long-term studies about how people talked to plants in a loving way and how the plant thrived, and then people spoke poorly and not nice to a plant and how the plant did not thrive.
Right.
I could see how you want to just have a nice, open communication with that plant.
Right. It's the energy you're putting out to the plant itself, not just what the plant is putting out to you. It's the two-way communication there. That's great.
Now you can even use plants in meditation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can basically have a plant with you while you're holding it and while you're meditating, and then you want to journal about the plant experiences or creating a plant-based rituals that some people do. So basically you can meditate with the plant, try to tune into the emotions of this plant.
Oh, I see.
And
so you're meditating with it to
connect.
See what the plant needs, or
yes, and to connect with the plant.
Okay, yeah, to establish the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you're basically you're trying to get guidance from the natural world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, the benefit of a plant empath is emotional and physical healing. Plant empathy can be a powerful tool for emotional healing. By connecting with plants and tapping into their energy, empaths can find solace, support, and guidance in their journey towards emotional well-being. Plants have an ability to absorb and transmute negative energy, making them excellent allies for empaths. By spending time with plants, empaths can release any negative emotion that they may be carrying and find a sense of peace and balance. So in addition to emotional healing, plants can also contribute to physical healing. Many plants have medicinal properties that can be used to treat various ailments. By incorporating plant-based remedies into your life, empaths can support their physical well-being and promote overall health.
Wow.
So if you're at a very stressed work environment, or if there's a lot of negativity in your work environment, you definitely want to have some plants, around your desk. To just basically kind of be a little force field and help with your negativity to go away, to get absorbed by the plants.
Right. That makes sense. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you are dealing with like the essential oils or herbs and stuff that you want to use, do you have to do you ask, this is going to sound like, do you ask permission before you do a little cutting of the plant? I mean, how?
Well, with the essential oils, they have to be distilled. So you would be obtaining your essential oils probably from apothecary or a reputable essential oil company. You don't want to just get the cheap ones because they're not pure. They don't have all the qualities of one that has been properly distilled. So most of them you do have to have be distilled. So I usually prefer going to an apothecary because we have one in town, and I've yet to get anything bad. But like if you're going to go out and cut some lavender, do some lavender cuttings. I mean, I always talk to the plant, tell them what I'm going to do. I've never asked permission, but I don't see why not. I mean, why not? I mean, I ask a stone if it's going to work with me. So you could always ask. That's a good point. I mean, you probably should ask, you know. But I just say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And plus, it also helps the plant when you snip sections off, because now it can grow more. So it can
grow fuller or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's benefiting the plant as well. When you're harvesting, as long as you're harvesting in an appropriate manner, you don't take everything from the plant.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was wondering, because like with the garden, which I've just started doing past couple of years, I find myself out there talking to the plants and saying, oh, did you give me this zucchini today? Is it okay if I take it? I find myself doing that. And then I talk to the tomato plants, and, well, there's no hope there. I don't think I've been able to communicate with them very well.
Maybe you need to ask them for permission.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe there is a better communication method that I need to do or something with that. Because, like, I've got sage growing, but I never cut on the sage. I'll take the dried leaves in the fall to use.
Well, I always trim my catnip. For one, my cat's addicted to it, but it also makes it more bushier and not so straggly. Because I'm going to harvest that catnip periodically throughout the summer, all the way into fall. So I keep it from going to seed, and then I let it go to seed.
Oh, I see.
So it can replant and do its thing. Yeah. Now, for a plant meditation, I did come across a plant meditation visualization exercise where the plant meditation visualization can help you cultivate empathic abilities. By connecting with plants on a deeper level, empaths can tap into the wisdom and energy. So basically, this involves either sitting or lying near a plant and focusing on its energy. Be quieting the mind and open the heart. Empaths can receive guidance and support from plants. Visualization techniques can also be used to imagine oneself merging with a plant as absorbing its energy. And benefits of plant-based meditation and visualization for empaths include developing a stronger connection with nature, gaining insight and guidance from the natural world, and finding a sense of peace and balance.
It's interesting.
This happened, it was during COVID. It was during COVID, during shutdown, lockdown, whatever you want to call it. And I was out, I put in a flower garden, and I was doing a lot of stuff outside, and I was out on the deck, and I look off, and I also have to see if I can find the picture, because I did take a picture of it. But it looked like a heart out of tree limbs in the woods. And I look up, and I'm like, is that a heart? That looks like a heart. So I took a picture of it, because I thought, I took it in, like, does that look like a heart to anybody? Like, yeah, that looks like a heart. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But, that makes sense now. And I tell you, I'll go out on the back deck, and I'll wave at a tree, and then all of a sudden, I know the wind's blowing, guys. That's probably what it is. But in my mind, he's waving back. Because I'll see him start waving. I'll show you when you come to visit next month. I'll show you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
Yeah. And it will probably wave. But I'm just telling you, I feel it's waving at me. So.
Well, speaking of hearts in a plant, I have a Live Forever that it actually grew out in the shape of a heart. That the whole plant was a heart shape. And then when we moved, I was like, I can't leave these here, because I felt like I needed to take them with me, and the lady didn't want them there because she's our renter. She didn't like those. So I was so happy that that was the case. So when we moved it and put it in the yard now, it stayed in the heart shape. It was so neat.
Well, there you go. See? And it was probably very happy you took it with us because she would have taken care of it.
No, she wouldn't have. No.
Yeah.
She didn't want any of them. So
I
was
mean,
fun.
Yeah. And so if you're a plant empath, you really want to tap into the energy and wisdom of plants. Empaths can find support, guidance, and balance in their lives working with plants. So I would clearly suggest that go out and try communicating with plants. See if you are a plant empath. You may be one and not aware.
Oh, that's true. Like I said, I didn't think I could grow anything because everything I would try to grow at the house I used to live in would die no matter how.
Well, it had something to do with your little entity in the basement.
Well, and that made sense now. And whereas here, I have been growing plants in the house and not killing them. So it's like maybe it's not such a black thumb of death or whatever that I thought I had.
The haunted house thing. I mean, my plants struggle a little bit on occasion, and that's because the energy, when there's more activity in the house, the plants, you could tell, get a little brown around the leaves and such. So, but yeah, I had heard that on another podcast, and I'm not sure which one it was, but it made sense. I'm like, well, yeah, plants have energy.
Yeah.
Entity needs energy to manifest. Well, that makes perfect sense because they have to get it from somewhere. If they're not getting it from a plant, they're getting it from you.
Right, exactly. Or the animal.
Or the animal.
An animal in the house. Whatever you have in the house.
Yeah. So that wraps up my plant empath.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. All right. The next one is the psychometric empath.
I thought this one was pretty interesting. Because
psychometric empath?
Yeah, because psychometry is a very common ability to read energy off of objects and stuff, and I just think it's interesting. I like this one.
Okay.
Not that it matters, but I like it.
It does matter because then you'll have so much more input.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. You really will. It'll be so insightful for everybody.
Ouch.
No ouch there. That's a compliment.
Okay.
You're going to bring so much more insight to it than probably what I would have provided. So it's great. Okay, so the psychometric empath has a unique ability to read the energy and emotions tied to an inanimate object. They feel the aura of an object. They sense the vibrations of objects, places, photographs, and so much more. Each object they pick up or place they visit will carry the energy of so many different people. They can visualize what happened to it in the past. If something was traumatic, they can use that visual to help the people involved. They might receive flashes of images, emotions, or impressions related to that item. It's like the object carries a psychic fingerprint of the people that have interacted with it. So holding a book might bring visions or emotions associated with its previous owner. They have a heightened intuition, and with these abilities, you can make a career in the fields concerning investigation, history, psychology, or fashion designs and such, because you have the vision for the future. So the psychometric empath have a deep connection with Mother Nature. They love walking in forests and along the beach, often barefoot, so they can connect to her energy. They can perceive the vibration of the planet in ways others cannot comprehend. They have a deep interest in history. Psychometric empaths tend to love everything to do with history. This is spurred on by their ability to see the history embedded in objects. It's not just about curiosity. It's a clear desire to understand the significance of sensations they experience when interacting with particular things. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, they seek to uncover the meaning and stories behind the emotions they sense, constantly exploring the depth of their empathic abilities.
I love history.
Do you?
I do. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so me.
Yeah. and this next one's you too. They have a wild imagination.
Oh boy,
These empaths yeah, with their These empaths have a remarkable, rich, and vivid imagination. They possess the ability to vividly visualize the events and emotions associated with an object they encounter or hear a story about. So they may even glimpse into the future of that object, adding a layer of creativity to their empathic experiences. The psychometric empath possesses a strong intuitive sense, allowing them to grasp insights beyond the obvious. Their intuition serves as a guide, helping them to navigate the emotions connected to the objects. Their ability to feel people and even places enhance their intuition. They always seem to know what is going on behind the scenes. Psychometric empaths are extremely intuitive. This makes them seem psychic to their friends because they often say things or ask questions about how they're feeling, or they can predict how a situation will play out. Psychometric empaths will let their gut feelings guide them through life with a trust that many would admire. Okay, the psychometric empaths try to ignore the things that interest them a little too much. A downside of being a psychometric empath is that your emotions can overpower your sense of reasoning. You let feelings affect you deeply to the extent that you can't distinguish between your personal emotions and the emotions of others. This is why a psychometric empath tries to run away from things and wants to keep themselves separated from their surroundings. They can get extremely inundated by things that have a traumatic past.
Yes. I totally agree with that statement. I concur.
Yes, all right. You feel emotions from pictures and objects. Psychometric empaths embody heightened sensitivity, not just to their own emotions, but also to the energies embedded in the objects. They are constantly perceiving emotional vibrations from their environment. This acute emotional awareness allows them to pick up on even the slightest shifts in the emotional atmosphere surrounding them. A psychometric empath will pick up a random object and feel the energy that resides within it. This might be a piece of clothing, and the psychometric empath might tap into how the previous owner felt when they last wore it. A psychometric empath can look at a picture and feel the emotions of the people in it.
Have you ever gotten a text message and you just felt the emotion of that text message?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but yeah.
It is weird.
Yeah, because it's text. It's not like, you could add. It's like when you have Siri message someone, you can't add, emotion to it. But man, it definitely comes through.
Yeah, I feel that with Facebook postings and such. Sometimes you can really feel emotion tied to them.
Mm-hmm.
Their psychometric nature extends beyond understanding emotions to actually feeling them deeply. They can immerse themselves in the emotional experiences associated with objects. This can be quite overwhelming at times, especially when they aren't expecting it to happen, which I can't even visualize that or comprehend that. Just pick something up and all of a sudden you get this overwhelming feelings and emotions tied to something.
Oh, you've not gone through an antique store and just touched things and...
No, I don't touch things in antique stores.
Well, this is a good way to work with your psychometry, is to pick something up or,
Yeah. Well, but in like antique stores, there's more than just the history of the items that's there, or the emotions or feelings there. There's things tied to, sometimes things tied to those things, as in Monique's. I think it was Monique's situation with the...
Yes, Monique saw this really cool chair at a consignment or resale shop and had to have it. Yes, and she sent a picture to me, and I replied, "Who's the man in the chair?" And then she replied, "That's funny." And I'm like, "I'm not kidding. I see a man sitting in the chair." And so I just sent this picture to you with no message to it. Just take a look at the chair. And you came back with, "Who's the man at the chair?" And I forwarded that on to Monique, like, okay, well, we both see a man in the chair, so enjoy the chair.
Right. If you're going to get it, enjoy it. He's coming
Enjoy
with
it.
you.
Oh, she'd already bought it. She'd already taken it home. So
Oh,
it was a done deal. Well, I bought a hutch, or it was more like an old china cabinet, not a hutch. It was an old china cabinet, and it came with a male entity. He had a gray suit on. He'd show himself a lot. I think that's why I was drawn to it, though.
right.
Yeah, he's quite protective fella, but he's moved on now. But yeah, he came with it.
So this type of empath can experience frequent deja vu moments as they connect with things more deeply. They may feel like they have seen the object before or know about it from somewhere. The psychometric empath has vivid dreams, which is a sign that their abilities are trying to boost and provide them with more clarity. Now, I get deja vu a lot. I don't know if that's something you experience, but
Yeah, I get deja vu. I think you have it. You do more deja vu than I get, but I do have deja vu moments.
a psychometric empath will describe a place as having a certain feeling or frequency. This ability affects how they perceive the world around them. They can feel whether the energy is positive or filled with negativity when they walk into a room or visit a new place. The psychometric empath often prefers harmony and positivity, like most empaths. This is because they are very sensitive to negative vibes. They steer clear of unnecessary drama and negativity, choosing environments that allow them to maintain a balance in their emotional well-being. That's you.
Yes.
By the way,
I was trying to be quiet. I'm like, yeah, I so am that. I own that one.
Yep. A psychometric empath is unique and extremely powerful in their ability to perceive the emotions left behind in inanimate objects, places, and pictures. They can learn so much about people through this ability, which enhances their ability to predict the outcome of situations. Psychometric empaths are extremely intuitive, and they always let that gut voice guide them through life.
Yes.
Whether or not they listen to it, but
usually get thumped on the head if you don't.
Yep. To sum up the psychometric empath, you form quick bonds with people possessing things with complex histories. You can help others connect with their loved ones through an object. You are quick in catching and interpreting auras around objects and can tell what kind of energy a particular thing emits, which could be useful information for its owner. You can make a career out of your abilities, especially in the fields concerning investigation, history, psychology, and fashion designs. You can relive history through your imagination and derive happiness from delightful pasts. Things with traumatic pasts can leave you feeling disturbed because you tend to be more affected by them, for an extended period of time. You can get attached to an object since you know what it has been put through and get stuck in your imaginary world. You always have to be careful around ancient things as they can stimulate your empathy receptors. Experiencing too much emotion on a daily basis can drain you and make you feel exhausted, and you might get frequent nightmares and face difficulty in sleeping as your brain tries to interpret too much.
I don't have nightmares. I do have difficulty sleeping, but I do not have nightmares. Yeah. I have weird dreams, really crazy dreams.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't really have nightmares. That's
Yep. Okay, Carrie. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the psychometric empath. So now, Carrie, can you tell us about the next empath, the telepathic empath?
Telepathic empath.
This is another one of your favorites. That's you.
Yeah, it's me. I'm going to tell you something. Like we talked about in earlier episodes where, when you're born a psychic and you're wide open and it's just how life is. You don't realize there's different things because you're just a kid.
Right.
And you just kind of know you can do things, but you just don't know how you know you can do something. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So I had gotten invited to go to a wedding reception with some friends. I didn't know the people getting married, but they wanted me to go. And I'm like, sure. Well, the eldest sister was there at the same wedding reception with a date.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we were several tables behind where they were sitting. And I just turned to my friend and said, watch this. I can make Julie turn around. And so I'm just staring at her. In my mind, I'm saying, Julie, turn around. Julie, turn around. And she turned around and she looked like, she went, what do you want? And it was just like, and it's just like, I've never done that before, but it was just kind of like, oh, hey guys, watch this. I watch what I can do. I can make Julie turn around. It was just kind of like, I don't know why it popped into my head. And because it was very crowded wedding reception and stuff. I'm just like, look what I can do.
Here's my party trick today.
Yeah. It's like things you do when you're, in high school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I digress. So the telepathic empath is a person who gets to know what's going on in someone's mind without even talking to them. They not only pay great attention to the expressions and behavior of other people, but they also are pro at picking up energies. These people sense negativity even more strongly, and that is the reason why they could get overwhelmed in a crowd.
Okay.
Telepathy is something that most people have only heard about in movies or sci-fi novels, but it's real. People can connect with each other in a number of ways, and telepathic empaths do the same. You have strong intuition. If you have telepathic abilities, your intuition is your main tool. You help get acquainted with the unspoken emotions and even with the backstory that a person might not be willing to reveal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're very quick at picking up on negative energy.
Okay.
Telepathic empaths share special bonds with their loved ones and might know what they are feeling or going through even when they are away. If you are one of these empaths, you might have a dream or flash about your friend being in trouble, and when you call them, you might find out that they were stuck in some difficulties. Telepathic empaths pick negative energies faster than others. It is because they are overly sensitive to them and feel perplexed encountering them. So, Kim, let's talk about that special bond thing.
What special bond thing? Between me and my daughter? Or
yes.
Me and you?
Yeah. Which one? Pick one.
Pick one?
Pick one.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is that. My daughter and I have definitely had a special bond since she was born. So actually, I think it was before she was born. But I always can, in my head, tell her, please give me a call. Need to know you're okay. Check in. And just a few minutes later, I'm getting a message. Let me know she's okay. Especially when she went away to college. I needed those reassurances every once in a while. So I'd just think it and she'd send it to me.
Well, there you go.
And there were many times when we would be, because she was like in Girl Scouts and stuff, and we would go to like a meeting, and afterwards a couple of the friends would hang out and talk to her, and next thing you know, she and I are answering the questions being directed towards her, and we were answering the exact same words at the exact same time. So there's that.
Yes. So I think we have established that there is a bond.
Yes, there is a bond.
There's a definite bond there.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next one is your mood fluctuates a lot. Since telepathic empaths go through so many emotions daily, their mood is never stable. They could be found feeling cheerful about something one moment and worrying about something other in the next moment. I resonate with that one.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah. You form strong bonds. Having a full-blown intuition system is a blessing for social life. These kind of empaths easily connect with people and take initiatives in building constructive conversations. They understand others' pain and try to get to the root of their misery. They also face difficulties letting people go, which could be a toxic trait in the long term.
Ooh, yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think what the problem with all empaths, I believe, is because you see what they could be. You see so much more than the average person that sometimes keeps you from letting that toxic person go.
Yeah. Yeah, I could understand that. Yeah.
And that's where boundaries are really good.
Yeah. But then, the empath just has the need to just hang on to them, fix them.
Yes.
The
Yes.
fixing thing.
Yes. We don't want to fix everybody. Not
Right.
everybody can be fixed. But yeah, if they've got a toxic trait, you got to kind of step back a little bit.
Or it's not your place to fix them in their life.
Yes. And that was kind of what we talked about in a previous episode, is stay in your lane. Is this where I need to stay in my lane and let this person just keep on trucking along, and I'm going to go truck my way, which is usually yes. But it's still hard letting people go because of that bond that you connect with.
Right.
Yeah. Now, as a telepathic empath, you need to escape now and then. We tend to get overburdened with other people's emotions. Telepathic empaths are no strangers to this phenomenon. They are often used as dumping zones by their friends and family members, which can leave them feeling frustrated. So it's natural. Yeah, so it's natural that they frequently want to run away to a quiet place where they can process everything they have imbibed and get clarity over their thoughts. Because again, what is mine, what is not mine, releasing things.
Right.
And I mean, I've used 2 examples of the hearing what people are thinking in previous episodes, so I'm obviously not going to repeat those. But if you're tapping into it and you don't realize you're doing it, it is a little startling when you answer a question before it was verbally asked to you.
Right.
People tend to look at you a little funny when you start doing things like that.
Yes, they do.
So, yes. Some of the pros about being a telepathic empath is it keeps you in touch with people. They like to keep themselves connected with their loved ones. These empaths have good communication skills and are a pro at making people feel at home. Telepathic empaths can sense the vibes. They know which people can potentially harm them or their loved ones. Some telepathic empaths can also read people's minds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These individuals can help people realize their dreams and passions as they get to know what the person wants. Some of the cons about being a telepathic empath: you might give more importance to others' feelings and ignore your own emotions. That, I think, is key, especially if you're dealing with a toxic person.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're giving, and you're not taking care of your own emotions. They can get overwhelmed when stuck in a crowd, Kim. They can.
Just like the emotional empath, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. These empaths experience frequent nightmares. And again, I don't have nightmares. I guess my spirit team is working really good with that, because I don't have nightmares.
Now, I do get nightmares.
You do get nightmares?
Yeah.
Telepathic empaths can get highly sensitive and wreck their mental health as they read a little too much between the lines. They look to see good in everyone, and that's one of the reasons why they find it difficult to let go of toxic people in their lives.
Oh, darn. I hate to say I'm that one.
Yeah. I'm guilty too.
That one resonates here.
Yeah. Having telepathic abilities is undeniably a huge deal. When combined with emotion, it can turn an individual into an angel that we all need in our lives. However, we must remember that everyone needs their own time and try to avoid burdening them with unnecessary complaints. Okay. So that wraps up telepathic empath. Any comments, Kim?
Well, I mean, how can you protect yourself as the telepathic empath? Are there things that...
Well, just like, it's like with all other protection processes, you're going to meditate, get in nature, be grounding, do grounding techniques. We don't breathe well. You ever catch yourself just holding your breath? It's like, why am I holding my breath? So having breathing techniques is really a good way of protecting yourself if you're a telepathic empath. Also, just silence, just getting away and just be on your own and take that time. Sometimes as empaths, we look at it as being selfish to do our self-care. But it's so important. It's not being selfish at all. It's taking care of you, because if you don't take care of you, then who's going to take care of your loved ones?
Right.
So it's very, very important to do all of the work that we've talked about, the psychic showers. Journaling would be a good thing as well, is to help you identify the feelings and if they're yours or not.
Right. And I think it's also important to choose who you spend time with, since they take on so much emotion, potentially negative energy from other people, like narcissists and overly negative people give off all that weird energy and stuff. that you can choose not to hang with them or not to spend time with them. You can say no.
Well, that's what we've talked about
Right?
boundaries a lot. We talk about
Yeah.
boundaries a lot, and so that's kind of like, I feel like, I don't want to be nagging, but it is difficult to have those boundaries. You need to have those boundaries. Sometimes you have to step back from people. It's not that you're not a good friend, but you can't be a friend to someone if you've got nothing to give. Now you got to step back. You need to take care of you,
Right.
and then you can have that discussion with yourself on whether or not that person needs to be in your life or not.
Right.
Are
Right.
they keeping you from your path? Are they helping you on your path? And what's funny is some people don't even notice you've stepped back.
Right, because they're just in their own little world anyway.
Yes.
So
So they have no idea, and it's like weeks later they realize you've stepped back, and they're like, "Oh, hey, let's go do something," and you're like, "Okay." I have to.
I guess
But,
if I have to.
if I have to, okay. Yeah, I you always see those. I follow a lot of, as you do, Kim, and I'm sure our listeners do, a lot of empath pages on Facebook. I'm like all over the place with those, and it's always funny when you always see the one that's like, well, you made plans, and at the time you wanted to go, but now it's time to go, and you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And a bunch of us, we do the sip and paint activities, and I just don't want to go the day of. I just don't want to go. I have to go, but I don't want to go. The day of, I just don't want to go. There's gonna be people there. I've worked all day. I want to go home, be quiet, but I go and have a good time. But the empath in me says, no, don't go. I don't want that. Don't make me do this. I don't want to do it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And as we conclude this episode of Empaths, next episode, we're going to talk about the dark empath. And this one's been a little eye-opener, I think, for both Kim and I, hasn't it, Kim?
Yes, it has been. It's been very educational.
So this one, we're going to kind of, I think, it might be a little more spooky vibe. I don't know. But so that, hopefully you look forward to and this would be the last segment of our empath series. And we're going to end with the dark empath, which I think is really interesting. So thanks, everybody, for listening. And we will talk at you later. Bye.
Bye. May your light shine bright.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Psychic Bent. If you enjoyed Psychic Bent, please like, follow, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We can be reached on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. Our email address is psychicbent1@gmail.com. May your light shine bright.